This is for me, the Capricorn, with topics and conversations. Have you liked and subscribed yet? Please be sure to like and subscribe on your way in or out. Thank you for your support, and I will be seeing you soon. Hello, everybody, and I am here to bring up the day's next story onto my stage. Hope everybody is doing well. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel and be sure to tell me what it is that you like to see. This is fair use commentary used for educational purposes, entertainment, and criticism where necessary. And to on the this was published on January the 18th, but it happened on January the 14th in Wilmore, Minnesota, where ICE agents ate at a Mexican restaurant in a small town. After their meal, they detained the employees. And it says four ICE agents ate lunch at El Tapacio's restaurant in Wilmore, Minnesota on January 14th and waited for the employees to close the restaurant before making their arrests. That's wicked. A group of immigrants agents, well, a group of immigration agents sat down to eat lunch at a owned family owned restaurant because you know they don't like when you own anything. So if that wasn't a hint of how they was feeling, but it was a family owned Mexican restaurant in Minnesota, and then returned hours later to detain the restaurant's employees because you don't have any rights to own anything. According to reports from the Minnesota Star Tribune and the WCCO, four immigrations and customs enforcement ICE agents sat down in a booth for lunch at El Tapacio restaurant in Wilmore, located at about 95 miles outside of Minneapolis, just before 3 p.m. local time on Wednesday, January 14th. The Star Tribune reported that eyewitnesses said staff were fearful as the agents ate their meal. By 8:30 p.m., the ICE agents seemingly followed the employees after they closed the restaurant for the night and eventually detained individuals near a local church and Wilmore Middle School. So if they were afraid, you were of course probably intimidating them. According to the Star Tribune, bystanders who witnessed the arrest blew whistles at the agents as one called out, "Would your mama be proud of you right now?" Probably don't like his mama. Carry on. The Department of Homeland Security told people in a statement that ICE officers were conducting surveillance of a target that day, who they identify as Jose Rosario Gomez Gallardo. Officers observed that the target's vehicle was outside of a local business and positively identified him as the target. While inside the business, Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin wrote in part. McLaughlin said then conducted a vehicle stop later in the day during which they detained the target and two other people in the car, including one who had a final order of removal from an immigration judge. El Tapacio has since closed its doors per WCCO, as have many businesses in the diverse city. One local resident who spoke to the outlet said she stopped by the Mexican restaurant to show his support. Just wanted to make sure everything was okay, and apparently it's not, because they're closed now, said Brent Fees, who added that his employees had lost 75% of its business since the Trump administration's immigration crackdown began in Minnesota's Twin Cities. So that's pretty much where that story ends. Sounded interesting. Didn't it seem like it could go on and on forever and ever? But yeah, their businesses went down after a lot of them voted that man in. And I don't want to make light and make fun of it, but sometimes you get what you pay for, and you have to be careful and do your research on people before you elect them into office, no matter what party they are in, and no matter what party people tell you to join or like. And I feel bad for them that this has happened to them. For the agents to walk into their restaurants and intimidate them in a way that they felt scared. Which means that those agents, when they walked in there, they knew they was going to be arresting somebody. And they pretty much judged them by who they were. And it's sad to say that in this instance, they waited for them to close up shop after they ate the family-owned Mexican restaurant and arrested the employees, which means they probably arrested the families that owns the restaurant. And that's more the reason why they closed. You can't operate a business without the business owner or owners. And a lot of it just infuriated a lot of people. And made people feel like, you can't go anywhere without them walking in somewhere and trying to intimidate you. They just had a report come out today about an ICE agent walking into a restaurant with his weapon out. So you don't even know who you're presenting a threat to, knowing that you're not a legal entity. And what if law enforcement would have been in there and they would have felt like you were a threat and they neutralized you because you're walking in a building like somebody would normally do if they were about to commit a crime using a weapon. That's literally how he looked. He walked in there like somebody that was about to commit a crime inside of a building using a weapon. He thought that it made sense to just walk in there. I'm talking about it wasn't a little gun. This was a big gun. Nothing that he could put in his pocket or tuck away. And it just shows there are individuals that never had that type of control or enforcement or opportunity or attention that they think they are doing a thing. And it's crazy that we get to witness how they took America and stole and pillaged. We get to see it visibly. They are the visual. We get to see live and live in color. They want us to see it, but say this is what you see it, but it's not what it appears. They are showing us how they stole America, how they stole a lot of things from America, starting all the way back to the ages of the Africans and the Egyptians and the Indians, you name it. Because while we were getting ourselves together, minding our own business, they were in caves. And ever since then, they have been trying to prove themselves as somebody who's worthy of somebody's country that is not theirs. And that is what is so amazing to me, that they would think that this is your country when the Indians practically decided to share this country with you. And then you basically took over from them. And now you're trying to find ways to deport them, of course, so that you can call something your own that was never yours, that you didn't build anything. And every time I see somebody that tries to be superior in that way, it's laughable to think that you think that this land is yours and try to deport people instead of deporting yourself. When are they going to start deporting the white immigrants? Oh, I forgot they married them. When is that going to happen? Saying everything, no, the ones that they think, they might say we are, but no, you're not, because the ones you're kidnapping are 5-year-old kids with their dads and brown people. There's no paleness to them. So we're waiting on that to happen whenever that happens. On the illegal white immigrants. Anytime now, that would help. But of course, we know that will never happen because they say this is there, and nonetheless, it's just so funny how you think that you have that much control, and you have to steal and lie and commit violence to get it. And then when a country decides to rise up against you, you want to call them terrorists. This Mexican family invited a hate group into their restaurant despite them being afraid and intimidated. They fed them. It sounds like a Judas story, if you ask me. They fed them, and they still turned on them like a snake and bit the person that fed them. It's very, very cosmoclizic. It's a word that I'm looking for. I don't want to say biblical in a sense, but it's giving that. That they turned the other cheek and they decided to feed you when you were hungry and gave you shelter to sit down at their table inside their business to eat. And you wait till they close the doors and then you detain them. I'm not going to ask them, was it worth it, because they will never learn. They signed up to something and pledged to a thing and agreed that this is how they think and how they feel. And it's going to come a day when they're going to have to stand up for that and account for that. When we will be able to see their faces. And then we will know. We will understand then. But like I say, they joined an organization, understanding that this is what they are going to do by any means necessary, using hate and violence and intimidation, posing a threat by walking in businesses with loaded weapons. Because if it was at a school, that would be, you would be called an individual on property with an open weapon, and they would think you were about to terrorize the kids. And so it's like, why would you do that? Walk inside of a business with a gun, a weapon in your hand, as if it's just nothing. And it was a regular establishment. It was no illegals in there. None. And that is the sad part of it all. But that's what I wanted to bring to you all. Another story of the madness and the agents of chaos. Back at it again. Pulling a Judas on a restaurant. So ironic. But yeah, I wanted to bring that to you guys today. And I have completed my live. And also, I would like to thank you guys again for supporting me and watching the channel whenever you can. And just subscribe and like the video, and I would appreciate your support. And please comment down below. Talk to me. Let's hold a conversation. And let me know what you want to see more of. And I will do my best to get that to you. So I will be seeing you guys later in another video. Until next time, y'all have a wonderful evening. Oh, and with a word, another word for the ending of the video is trust the next chapter, because you are the author. You are the author of your own story, the story of your life. You have the right to write and rewrite your story. You have the right to add characters and take characters out of your story. You have the right to have a happy ending as well as a happy beginning. So never forget that the pen never stops until you stop writing the story of your life, no matter how that goes. But y'all have a blessed day. Bye.